There was a boy. He wasn't lost in the world. He was lost inside himself. From the outside, everything looked fine. He woke up, did what was expected, smiled when people smiled at him. But inside, his mind never rested. Thoughts piled on top of thoughts. Regret mixed with fear. Hope mixed with exhaustion. Even in silence, his head was loud. He didn't know why he felt this way. Nothing terrible had happened. And somehow, that made it worse. Because when you can't explain your pain, you start blaming yourself for it. So the boy decided to search for peace. At first, he thought peace must be a place. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere far. So he started walking. Early mornings. Long roads. Empty spaces where no one asked questions. He climbed hills and sat under open skies. Watched clouds move slowly, as if they had nowhere to rush. For a moment, he felt okay. But then his thoughts returned. What am I doing with my life? Why do I feel behind? What if I never become enough? The place was peaceful. He wasn't. Next, he tried staying busy. Maybe peace comes after success. So he filled every hour. Work, plans, goals, achievements. No empty time. No silence. People started noticing. They said things like, "You're doing great. You're going places. I wish I had your discipline." He smiled. But at night, when the lights were off, when no one was watching, the noise returned, louder than before, because busyness doesn't cure emptiness. It only hides it during the day, and the boy felt more tired than ever. There's a special kind of loneliness that comes when you're surrounded by people, but still feel unseen. The boy laughed with friends, talked about normal things, but never said what he really felt. Because how do you explain a storm when no one else sees the clouds? So he carried it alone, day after day, until one afternoon, while walking through an old street, he noticed a small bookstore. Dusty windows, faded sign, almost forgotten. Something made him stop. Inside the store was quiet. Not an empty quiet, a calm one. Behind the counter sat an old man. No phone, no ruse, just presence. The kind that makes you feel safe, without knowing why. The boy didn't plan to speak, but the words came out anyway. "I'm searching for peace," he said. The old man looked at him for a long moment, then smiled. "You're not the first," he said, instead of advice. He handed the boy a small notebook. "Tonight," the old man said, "write everything you're afraid to face. Everything, especially that." That night, the boy sat alone, the notebook in front of him. At first, nothing came. Then everything did. Fear of failure, fear of being forgotten, fear of never becoming who he imagined, anger he never expressed, guilt he never released, pressure he never questioned. Page after page, tears fell without warning. Not because it hurt more, but because he finally stopped holding it in. When he finished, his hands were shaking, but his chest felt lighter. For the first time in a long while, he slept. The next day, he returned to the bookstore. The old man asked, "Did you find peace?" The boy paused. "No," he said softly, "but I found myself." The old man nodded. "Peace doesn't arrive when life is perfect," he said. "It arrives when you stop fighting who you are." That moment stayed with the boy. From that day on, the boy stopped running. He didn't force happiness, didn't chase silence. When his mind was loud, he listened. When he felt weak, he rested. When fear showed up, he didn't push it away. He understood something important. You don't heal by pretending you're okay. You heal by allowing yourself to be human. Peace wasn't loud. It didn't erase problems, didn't silence every thought. Peace was space. Space between a thought and a reaction. Space to breathe. Space to forgive himself. Some days were still hard, but they didn't break him anymore. Because now, he wasn't at war with himself. One quiet morning, as sunlight touched his face, the boy smiled. Not because everything was fixed, but because he no longer needed fixing. He wasn't searching anymore. Peace hadn't been found. It had been remembered.